Hey guys, what's going on? I hope everyone's well. It's your boy MKS back again. Another video. I was thinking, I'm out of breath already, but I was thinking I should have perhaps chose more appropriate attire considering the topic I'm talking about. This is kind of my attempt at, excuse me, at a manifesto. Where's my voice going? Hope my voice won't go again because that'll be embarrassing. But anyway, sorry. This is my attempt at a sort of political manifesto, partly a bit of fun, but partly like discussing my political dreams and aspirations for the future and some of my goals and dreams. I was a bit nervous sharing it because I thought that some ideas might be a bit naive, or I didn't want to sound too mad like some of my videos. And I was thinking, like, as I've been recording videos for probably about 3 months now, I thought I'd probably be a bit more confident maybe by now, but seem to be getting a bit nervous because like part of me is worried about again what I keep talking about, like people getting too many notifications or people not liking the videos, or so I'm just trying to enjoy it again. But yeah, I tried to plan this a bit better in my head, so I've already kind of written this up on Facebook, but I wanted to give it a bit of time so I could go into I had a shower, so I sort of refreshed my mind a bit and tried to rethink some of my ideas a bit more. And I think people say when you go to have a shower, it sort of refreshes you. In this case, my ideas were hopefully pure. You know what I mean? But anyway, sorry. Yeah, so again, I should probably keep it more professional. But yeah, so I know this has been a bit of a long intro, so I thought I'd want to get into the list, but I think that covers my intro. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so I've been thinking about the ideas as much as I could to try and plan them out in my head, so when I go to talk about them, hopefully, unlike some other videos, I won't run out of things to say. I'll keep going every few minutes. But anyway, so I'm going to get onto the list. Number one, I was thinking, I was, for a long time, I've been dreaming to make like a political network or political party or political group. And on that note, it's like I was wondering whether it should be an actual party or just a pressure group or lobbyist group that shares common ground or ideals, or lobbies governments for things that we agree with, and brings a group together of people like-minded who can share ideas, not always agree, but together come up with policies. This is kind of my naive idea, as I say, of a manifesto, because I've never actually seen an actual manifesto. But anyway, so point number one is like I dream to get this thing started, but I also, on that note, is to think whether it should be an actual political party or just a lobby group, and I would call it I was thinking of calling it the MKSP International, or internationally, which, as the name indicates, firstly has my initials MKS, but also, not that I want to be narcissistic or I don't want to be the leader of it or run it, but and I want it to be a democratic group which talks and discusses ideas not just amongst each other, but mainly amongst each other, but also amongst other people, and is prepared to listen to alternative views and things like that. But also it works internationally. But as the founder, I dreamed to give it I was thinking of giving it my name, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But all these ideas are just like rough lists or ideas that can always be changed over time. My own ideals or my own dreams or priorities might change, and the other members might feel the same. Again, might change their ideals, and I hope not to be too arrogant or big-headed, or too not unconfident, but like sort of how to put it, positive and optimistic, but confident without being arrogant is what I think is the best way of putting it. Humble enough, but not to put myself down or whatnot. Anyway, sorry, I'm waffling quite a lot. No, sorry. But yeah, to listen to other people's ideas and not just always believe my own ideas are the best or always right or whatever, or always right or even always the best. But anyway, so point number one is like whether to make it. Ideally, the name would be the MKSP, which stands for Party, Coalition and Political Party, international or internationally, either as a lobby group or, again, as a political party that works in different countries and brings people from different countries together to work together politically internationally. Point number two, I hope to learn as much as I can about politics, and all being well, take time to listen to people, to listen to what people want, to listen to what the average needs of people are, but also like business people, SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, medium and bigger enterprises, and all sorts of different businesses internationally, and that sort of thing. And again, I'll say learn as much as I can, be taught as much as I can, and have mentors and things like that. Point number three, I generally wish to work on libertarian ideals about individual liberty, responsibility, freedom, less government. And I'll talk a bit, as I say, about a lot of these ideas before, but so basically it's a generally libertarian ideology. And at the moment I'm just sharing my own, sharing my own dreams, and I'm hoping to also listen to those, as I say, of other people. So these videos are just about my own dreams and getting together, and then I hope to also take on board, as I say, other people's ideas as much as I can. But generally, to be honest, socialists or communists might agree with some ideals, but they might not agree with other ones, to be honest. But as I say, people are entitled to their opinion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, less state, less regulation, less nanny state, and things like that, as they say here in the UK. Which another point I was going to make is that I want this to be international, and I'm not that patriotic, but I'm, from what I've seen on the news or on political programs, I'm going on my experience living in the UK. But as I say, I want to, so from that, but if I could go to Turkey, I would love to event like manifest in countries like Turkey, because Turkey is Eurasian nation. I love Anglo-Indians to be, as I talked before about Anglo-Indians being united for India financially, economically, but for Italy in terms of football, and in Turkey and other Eurasian countries in terms of like happiness, health, and improving human rights and freedoms and animal rights and things like that. Because I see it symbolically as a country version of Anglo-Indians, as we are, or other Eurasians, but especially Anglo-Indians, because we are like from two continents and they're in between two continents. Anyway, sorry, but yeah, libertarian ideology, privatization, less regulation, lower taxes. I even dream, like, I know these are a bit outlandish dreams, but I even dream like if I could, or if it would be possible to do so. Maybe I'm being naive, as I say, but I'd love to get rid of corporation tax and VAT and things like that, and have the lowest possible taxes. But yeah, generally as much freedom as possible, and individual choices and liberty and things like that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm wanting to make YouTube as well, to make myself independent, and also to encourage and help other people to be self-accountable and things like that, and show that you can do it, hopefully. Point four, the only tax I would like to see, and this is a bit of a complex idea, but I would love to make, I'd probably assassinated for some of these ideals, but maybe I'm a bit paranoid here, but I wonder if you'd be willing to die for your ideals. But I know that's a bit melodramatic perhaps, but it's like to make it either illegal to lobby for wars, to include any war in documents for lobbying, so that to stop war profiteers, or to tax them so high that to make it as close to impossible as it can possibly be to profit from war. So that companies or individuals can lobby for war as easily, and they, to make it as hard as possible to make profits from war, basically, even maybe to, as I say, block out any lobbying of war. And I'd also dream to tax the weapons trade by 10%, have a 10% tax possibly on the revenue, or even on the profits, or maybe in the revenue itself, as I say, sorry. And also on like the military industrial complex, like the militaries of the world, again, from an international scale. The idea, what a lot of people would say is that if you cut poverty and make people more financially stronger, basically if you cut poverty, there'll be more peace, and therefore the argument for the military industrial complex of the world, to militaries of the world, to to have more spending, the argument would be, I think that my argument would be that if you use that money, if you tax weapons trade 10% and use that money on feeding people, sheltering people, giving people housing, shelter, and more general sport, education, and things like that, de-radicalization, and all sorts of things like that, you wouldn't need as much militarism. Another thing I was thinking is like, and that money could also be used to cut taxes for other people, especially more peaceful people, like also to have tax cuts for providing healthy food and looking after the environment and providing peace and showing that you care for peace and that you support the poor as much as possible. I know the companies could always do that as part of their PR, and they might not really be doing it, but they might be trying to give that image. But I hope to at least try as much as possible to ensure that they get tax cuts for that, and then people who go who lobby for war get taxed more. So that I think if you make peace pay, more people will be peaceful. Another thing I was thinking is like people of color, POC. I know it's a bit of another controversial idea of mine, but I would encourage us to be in the police force and the military, not the military, sorry, the police force and the law, and ensure that would help. I think it'd be better to do that than be in the military, because especially in Western countries, especially, and also to fight each other less, people of color to work together more and fight each other less, like Asian and African nations, which go to war with each other respectively, and also people of color who live in the West join the military. I think to me these things help white supremacy, because we fight each other rather than be united, which I think makes us weaker. But I think if more people of color were in the police or law enforcement, we could ensure that everyone gets equal rights and equal trials. We can also help people of color to work with the police and law enforcement and have more interaction, so that hopefully we can discourage people of color from committing crime, which means that the far right the white supremacists or neo-Nazis, the far right, whatever you want to call them, can't use that against us, that saying that we're criminal or things like that, which things they sort of say. We can show we're not, that we hopefully commit crime less and are more law abiding, and also make sure we get fair trials and things like that. Hope that makes sense, as naive as it might sound. Number 5, as I say, I'd love to hear other people listen to their dreams and listen to their goals, and share my ideas and see what they think about those ideas, as naive as they might be, and that sort of thing. Number 6, I hope to always try and do my best I can, including to lower taxes, make it more free, as I say, and that sort of thing. 7, I hope to work with disadvantaged groups or communities or minorities, including persecuted people, people who are persecuted for their faith, especially people of Christian faiths around the world in countries where they might be persecuted, but also other religions where they're facing persecution, and human rights. I hope to work on human rights and things like that, as well as animal rights and that sort of thing. I also hope to hear from people of different faiths, especially Christians, about what they think, what they would love to see politically. Number 8, I hope to work together against the white supremacists, neo-Nazis, far right, or other hate groups. Look at how to de-radicalize people and bring people together. And also, if I could, I'd love to financially reward and support areas like, say, for instance, in Ireland, where there might be groups that are pro-diversity or things like that, which are fighting nationalism, or especially violent nationalism, at least. Or as I say, white supremacists or the neo-Nazis or the far right, people like that. And also look at de-radicalizing people and working together and supporting diverse areas and things like that. Love, not hate, and that sort of thing. 9, as I hope to collaborate with others, share their ideas and that sort of thing. And 10, when it comes to youth policy, I hope to to empower youth. I hope to look to work in education, like to talk about on the curriculum, like a lot of things about about sympathy or empathy, where children learn about sympathy and empathy. So when they're older, we don't need to tax people as much. Because they learn to support each other by choice, rather than the government forcing people to do what they might not want to do. And I also hope to support the 10% poorest people in every possible country, which I've talked about before. Excuse me, sorry about my voice going and all that sort of stuff. I don't know if it's the weather or what. Anyway, I think that covers part 1. I I think I might have forgotten some points, but or probably waffled a bit. Sorry if this video is really long. Thanks for sticking with it if you have done so, and please look out for part 2. Sorry, hope my voice lasts that long. For part 2 and 3, and please let me know what you think as ever. If there's any bits that resonated with you, any bits you didn't agree with, any bits you do agree with, because it's sort of about opinions anyway. I'm prepared to listen, as I say, to other opinions, alternative opinions, and all that sort of stuff. So hopefully I'll keep it polite, but obviously, as I say, I was sorry to sound like a broken record, but I welcome any opinions, and obviously it's free speech, freedom of speech, and all that. But anyway, I'm going to get another cup of tea because I'm really thirsty. Sorry, even though it's after midnight, so I probably shouldn't, but I'm really thirsty and I don't drink water. There's nothing else to drink. I don't drink alcohol either. But anywho, yeah, I think there were 1 or 2 things I was going to cover, but I lost my train of thought a bit. So anyway, sorry if it's long, as I say. Peace and love.